Alright, what is going on there, people of the fog? So, in today's video, I have some pretty fantastic news. Do you guys remember the old developer build that I initially leaked back out to you guys back in April, early April, I believe it was? So apparently, we have some individuals that may have found a way to basically make it useful again. I deemed it as pretty much trash once the Dead by Daylight basically updated to Unreal 4.22. Again, going over this briefly, the developer build that was initially leaked out used Unreal 4.21, and so when I did my little cosmetic renders and things like that, I couldn't put those assets from 4.22 into 4.21 without it crashing, and that's really all I really used the developer build for. These individuals, however, have found a way that they could actually put in even custom models into the developer build. So if you ever felt like, you know, playing as any other video game character in Dead by Daylight, well, technically that would be possible in the developer build. They have shown some progress. These two individuals that I'm talking about literally just joined my Discord today and told me that it is possible that the developer build can be reused. Those two individuals go by the name of Reknock, I believe that's how you say that, and Shmuel. They're the two that are working closely together to see if they can get the developer build working in a way that you can actually kind of toy with it a little bit further. So Shmuel put up here, you know, that the sky's the limit. He says there's so much that we can do now. Customized maps, custom killer and survivor models, and textures, modified abilities, maybe, that's why there's a question mark, etc. So that's actually fantastic news, and they are showing some progress. Some progress being, let's see here. So these two right here, they're basically playing around with it. Nia is Legion over here. I think he forgot to fix the blockiness on the model here in Blender, but you got the Spirit playing as a survivor. And just think about this. Remember how Skimu, he makes these survivor versions of the killers before they've basically become what's the word I'm looking for? Corrupt, kind of like the Plague Huntress. He's made basically like survivor versions of them, or cleaned up versions of them. Now imagine if you got his assets with his permission and then put them into this developer build, playing them as a survivor rather. That would be very cool to see, because now you can play as the Plague or Huntress before they've become corrupt as a survivor. Now that's just one wild idea out there. You can also change the textures on individuals as well. So here they're branding their little logo here on the shirt. This looks like maybe the Twitch shirt that you can get. I think that's the same thing for Nia. So you can make custom textures using the developer build. Again, this is for you guys to just play around with. Obviously, you can't really go online with this stuff. It's a separate build of the game. Hell, what's funny about this developer build is if they've gotten it in such a way that you can manipulate the actual assets, if Dead by Daylight ever dies, we'll say, which I don't see it dying anytime soon, but you know, and they don't really have the licensing for it anymore for whatever reason, because if they were to make an actual game using the developer build, it's totally possible. But the problem is behavior is going to come at your ass with a DMCA takedown. But it is possible that you could create private versions of Dead by Daylight. I think highly possible. So that's just a wild idea out there that I can just throw at you. You know, and here's Reknock. He showed this in our Discord of it looks like Noble 6. He's still kind of messing around with it, but this looks to be like Noble 6 from Halo, Halo Reach specifically, that he imported into the game. He's just a little too tall. So again, the possibilities are endless. They're still working out the kinks with it. I don't know per se if they're going to release this these programs or whatever tools that they're using to do this publicly. I don't know if they're 100% certain they're going to release these assets to only me, or if they're at all going to. It'd be very appreciated on their end if they did, because then I can actually do a lot of crazy shit with this, just to kind of mess around with it. That is entirely up to them what they want to do. I tried to help them out a little bit with pack chunking. So because if you guys are familiar with unpacking the pack chunks in the game, they are a mess to do, and so basically I kind of organized it as best that I could in the past, and then re-updated it for 3.6.2 that we have currently. So and I shipped that over to them to see if they can get a working unpacker that'll actually unpack everything in a more organized, neat manner. I think Shmuel said he was going to work on doing something just that. So that's the most that I can help in terms of their little projects that they got going on, because I'm not very skilled when it comes to this stuff. I don't know how to be an elite hacksaw and hack into the game. I kind of just put my brain to shit, and that's as far as it goes with me. In the future, as far as modeling and all that crazy shit goes, I do want to, I think I've said this in the past too, I do want to make Left 4 Dead 2 playable survivors and basically playable killers if you wanted to as well. I talked to Cozy Chicken on Discord. I don't know if he's going to get back to me at all. He's the one that makes those gorgeous SFM type images that you've probably seen in Polyester's artworks channel. I've always been very impressed with his SFM pictures. I know he's made some videos in the past that shows you how to kind of convert any kind of model to source, but it's kind of outdated, and I was hoping to ask if he would be willing to make an updated version of it that I can follow, because I'm more familiar with Unity than I am Source. Back in the day I used to make Source stuff, but again, I'm blabbering. That's just kind of a story for another day. But yeah, the possibilities are endless with this, guys. I am very looking forward to this, because I always thought the developer build was pretty much dead at that point, and you couldn't really do a whole lot than what you could already do with it. Currently right now, you can't even use the developer build period. It looks like they changed their API or something to do with the developer build. I had initially thought when you would double click the no steam bat folder, or file I should say, that it never used an online connection at all to get into the game, but apparently it still connects to behavior servers to even play it offline, and so they changed the API and how that works to where you can't even play the developer build right now. Obviously these two have fixed that. I don't actually have an updated version of the API version of the developer build. You can't even re-download the developer build off of Steam DB like you were able to that I've shown you guys, but you can still find the developer build floating around on the internet. I even put a link to it in my Discord, so if you guys want to jump in and still grab it, you can do that. But yeah, I look forward to this. It'll probably be some new projects for me if they decide to release these tools and these assets. So yeah, I don't know what Behavior was thinking when they released this developer build, because there's a lot of damage you can do with this and crazy shit you can do with it apparently. So I don't know. We'll see you guys. So hopefully you guys liked today's video. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them in the comment section below, and I will get back to you. Peace out, guys.